Yeah, it's on. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Shomita has already introduced me, but let me introduce myself once more to you. I am Jhelum Biswas, and I am a flower witch. Yes, you've heard me right. I am a witch. But before you make any assumptions, let me tell you, trust me, I am a good witch. And my apothecary and my witchcraft involves different various ways in which flowers can be used for healing. As Shomita said that I have worn several hats. I am a journalist, a writer, an author, a poet, a healer, a trainer, several of them. But the hat that I like to wear the most is this, the witch's hat. So let me continue. From my early childhood, I was, I used to suffer a lot from cold and cough. And it went on for years. And my diet had a part of my diet became antibiotics and antihistamines. This went on for years till the time I discovered that allopathy is doing me no good. And at the peak of my career, I had to take a sabbatical to heal myself first. I started with alternative therapies of Bach flower, and homeopathy, yoga, Ayurveda, and slowly it all started taking effect on me. And when I transformed my health, when I learned what these therapies could do, I learned them so that I could treat others. So before we continue any further, let's do a little meditation on flowers. Are you ready to do that with me? So I would request you all to please close your eyes. Can we all close our eyes? Please be with me on this. Be a sport and just close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Imagine all of us breathing in together. Breathe in, hold the breath, and then breathe out. One more time. Breathe in, hold the breath, close your eyes, and breathe out. Once more. And as you breathe out, please relax your body and mind. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Keep your eyes closed. Now imagine a yellow mustard field, tiny yellow flowers fluttering in the wind, and the wind is wafting towards you. It's caressing your face, it's running through your hair. Keep breathing in that sweet air. If you need help, think of the scene from Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol on the mustard fields. Many of you already have a smile thinking about it. Please hold on to that smile and keep smiling. Keep breathing in and breathing out, and let that happy yellow color seep into your being. Keep smiling. Experience it, and when you are ready, slowly and gently open your eyes. This, my friends, is a happiness exercise which I urge you to do whenever you're feeling a little low. Sometimes we feel sad for no particular reason, and that's when mustard is a Bach flower remedy which helps. It elevates your grief and you feel better. I guess all of you felt a little better. So we have been speaking about Bach flower therapy. I've mentioned it a couple of times. And I want to share with you that while I have learned a lot of other alternative therapies, what has worked best for me is the Bach flower remedy. And it's not just me who's benefited from it. You can look up, and there are celebrities who have. So there are celebrities like Jennifer Aniston, Emma Watson, Hugh Grant, Messi, and even Princess Diana. But what they have generally liked, or what they have been introduced, or any of you who have experienced Bach flower remedy, when you have been introduced, you were introduced to something called the rescue remedy. And that is what all these celebrities do when they are going on stage to perform. Now, rescue remedy, by the word you can understand, is a crisis remedy. And we are not always on crisis, though we may think we are. So this is used only when you are in crisis. So let me explain it to you a little more. Our wonderful organizers, all of you, have been doing a great job for the last couple of months. But it has also involved a lot of stress. Some of you may have been stressed because you were fearful how it would turn out. Somebody could be spending sleepless nights as to how things have to be managed. Then I know one of you has also been unwell for the last couple of days. To her, I would suggest a combination of crabapple, walnut, and olive. Crabapple Bach flower remedy cleanses your system, olive energizes you, and walnut protects you. The one who couldn't sleep should be taking white chestnut, and the one who was afraid will take mimulus. So for instance, I have been waiting from morning to come and talk today, but now before coming on stage, I was feeling very jittery. So the remedy that I took was mimulus. So coming back to the discoverer of this philosophy, it is Dr. Edward Bach, and in the 1930s in England, he discovered 38 flower remedies. Dr. Bach's philosophy was that every ailment has an emotional root, an emotional imbalance. When you treat that emotional imbalance, the ailment also fades away. But it is not it does not replace medical science in any way. It can be a complementary system. So Dr. Bach, when I experienced the Bach flower remedies, I was able to cure my cough and cold, which had not gone for decades. I took crabapple for cleansing, I just told you about that, and I took walnut. And that helped me over the years to completely overcome it. Now, when you do something and you feel it's good, what is the first thing you want to do? You want to go and tell your friends, you want to go and tell your family about it. But my friends and family were very skeptical. Actually, they are the hardest to. So when you can convince your friends and family, know that you have arrived. I prayed and I thought that what could I do to make them understand that this worked? Then I realized that I've been a beauty editor and my word in beauty is taken seriously. So I thought, why not create beauty products and add Bach flower therapy to it so that at least they're applying it on their skin, they don't have to take it in. And I gave these products out to my friends as Christmas gifts. And then they say, it was all history. And orders came pouring in. In 2018, my passion for beauty led me to write a book. And while I was ideating about the book, I realized that there's a common thread in my life. And what is it? Flowers. It's there in every aspect of my life. I like to wear flowers. I write poetry on flowers. I dress up with flowers. I like floral prints, floral fragrances. I write poems which are based on flowers. In fact, my PhD is on flowers, feminism, and faith in Dr. Daisaku Ikeda's poetry. So you see that flowers are all pervasive, and flowers have played a very important role in my life, leading to this book, which talks about how flowers can be used in our daily life, from cooking to wearing to even healing ourselves. I realized that I am in my element. Exploring the world of flowers, I also realized that they are entwined in our lives. From birth to death, from all the milestones in between and precious moments that also are there, flowers are our way of expressing, and flowers are our best friends. So they are much like our eyelashes. They are closest to our eyes, but can anyone see them? I mean, can you see your own eyelashes? You don't. So why is it that we don't see flowers that are there all over? They are with us right now. Because we have somewhere lost our connect with nature. And also because we take flowers for granted. But take a pause here. Listen, be calm, and you will see flowers flowing into your life. All you have to do is just be attentive. And when you do that, you might also hear flowers speaking to you. They do to me. So amidst this journey, I have embraced the term flower witch with grace and with a lot of pride. Yes, there have been several raised eyebrows. Even today, my mother said that, why are you calling yourself a flower witch? Call yourself a flower fairy. So now, what are rhymes? They are poems. And what are rhymes that are based on nature? They are spells. Spells can be good, can be bad. But what we are talking about is spells that are good. What are spells? Spells are wishes. Wishes composed in rhymes. So you don't have to recognize yourself as a witch to speak in rhymes. You can do it otherwise, because remember, we are all poets. We just need a little nudge to tell ourselves and to explore that talent. So let me tell you, share with you here a little, a spell that I have written. Hark thy indigo night, let this intoxicating smell of the rare Neel Kamal bind you tight. May those who smell this fragrance always remember that the darkest hour gives rise to wonder. Try it out yourself as well. Now I'll talk about a little bit about being wickedly floral. My early childhood was spent in reading fairy tales in Bengali and in English, and I grew up believing in fairies, thinking I am a princess, and that I would one day meet a prince on a white horse, and we will ride off to sunset and live happily ever after. But friends, life happened, and I realized that there are no knight in shining armors, and there are no fairy godmothers. You have to lead your life on your own terms. You have to take charge. You have to do what you want to do. Society is going to criticize. And eventually, I realized that I have a more kindred spirit with the witches than with the princesses and the fairies. I like the sartorial sensibilities of fairies. Think of the film Anne Hathaway's The Witches. Come on, think of a style. It's wonderful, and I would like to wear clothes like her. Now let me tell you another important thing about witches. Witches are also, they have specialization. So some can be a garden witch, somebody can be a kitchen witch, somebody can be a cosmic witch, but I am a flower witch. So that's my calling. Now let's come to aromatherapy. This is with essential oils, and many of you may be aware of it. But aromatherapy is not just about smelling jasmine oil and saying, oh wow, it's so good. Aromatherapy goes into your physiology when you apply it on your skin, and it also heals you emotionally, physically, and psychologically. Now, one of my favorite essential oil is rose otto, and it is very good for the heart. So if anyone here has a cardiac problem or a lung issue or is going through a heartbreak, take a drop of the rose otto and apply it on the center of your chest. Breathe in the fragrance, and slowly you will feel a little better. If anyone asked me that I had to pick one essential oil for my lifetime, the one which I would pick is lavender. Lavender and rose and other floral essences are easier to use than other essential oils made from bark, roots, and other parts of the flowers because they are gentler and they can be used directly on the skin. But why would I choose lavender? Because lavender is easier to get than original rose otto, and it's pocket friendly, much less expensive than rose otto. Plus, it is an all-rounder. It heals, cuts, burns, and even acne and physical pain. So keep lavender essential oil handy. It's going to help you a lot. But I would also request you to wear it as a perfume because it has a wonderful peppery smell that is great for winters as well as summers. It also calms you and uplifts you. Seemingly opposite things, but it works. Now, I would also like you to explore other floral essential oils like jasmine, blue lotus, geranium, frangipani, lang lang. This will help you enhance your senses better. I use these oils and crystals for cleansing and balancing chakras along with pranic healing. And by doing that, I'm able to, make a mix of bark flower remedies which is more appropriate for that person. Now, in November, those who have been in Delhi, those who stayed in Delhi, you will know that between 5:30 to 6:30 in the evening, the entire city starts smelling great because there are night blossoms blooming that time. So one night I was returning home and I was a little upset. I can't remember what I was upset about that day, but I was angry. And then when I was walking home, I suddenly felt some soft things falling on my head and a beautiful fragrance enveloped me. I touched my head and I found little white flowers. Those of you who are Bengalis here, you will know that was the chatim flower, and it blooms at this time, and that was falling on my head. Now there is the English name for, or it's often referred to as the devil's tree. Why is it called the devil's tree? It is not evil. It is called because the tree demands respect. So if you disrespect the tree takes offense. So what is the lesson that we learned here? Nature is to be respected and to be surrendered to. When you do that, the nature will bless you with its bounty, as the chatim tree did that day. Now, let me tell you some little nice love stories around flowers. My favorite is that of Parijat or Shivli. So it is believed that according to folklore, there was a princess called Parijat, and she was in love with Surya, the sun god. And Surya knew about it, and therefore to reciprocate her feelings, he came down to earth during winter. Suddenly it was spring. Birds were singing, butterflies were fluttering, love was blooming. Everything was very nice. But then when spring slowly marched into summer, a global warming of sorts happened. And then Surya realized that for the world to survive, love has to be sacrificed. He soared to the sky, and Parijat clung on to a ray of hope, and she tried to soar high with him. Alas, she was burnt to ashes, and she fell on earth. The gods and goddesses wept. Their tears fell on those ashes. And from that remnant, the beautiful Shivli flower was born. It's the white flower with, at the center, it has a sun-like heart, yellow sun-like heart. So that's the story of Shivli and Parijat. In another interesting book, it's called Ark Prakash. And do you know who has written it? Lankapati Ravan. Yes, Ravan from Ramayana. He has written this book. It's a conversation between Ravan and his consort Mandodari, where he is describing how arcs or floral waters are made. It's a very sensuous dialogue. Now, when you look at it, it's available in Hindi and Sanskrit. If you were to look at the book, you would find that those bark flower remedies very similar to that. And even the arcs, which are mentioned in the book, are made till date and consumed by us. So that's where it goes back. Now, before I go off the stage, I would like to talk to you about my favorite flower and a beautiful incident. another story. So my favorite flower is the Desi Gulab, not the cultured, proper rose. It's that bright red flower with the pollen inside it, the yellow pollen inside it, and it's a beautiful fragrance. Now, you may know Noor Jahan, who was the consort or the 21st wife of Emperor Jahangir. Noor Jahan was also known as Mehrunisa, and she had a mercurial temper, and it was as popular as her passion for Jahangir. Jahangir and she really loved each other, and it's also believed that she sat in the court with him. One day they had a public altercation. Now all of these are stories, right? I mean, there is no historical fact to it, but these are legends. So it is believed that Noor Jahan, she flew into a rage and she slapped the emperor. Everyone thought, especially the women in the Zenana thought, that was the end of her. But next day, Jahangir announced a ceremony where the palace courtyard, the passage, was lined with Desi Gulab petals, thousands of them. And at a particular time in the evening, when the sun rays fell on the Desi Gulab, they let off a beautiful fragrance. And at that moment, Noor Jahan or Mehrunisa walked from one end of the pathway to the middle, and Jahangir walked from the other end to the middle. That was a statement of equality and love. And what could be more empowering? So now, before we finish, let me take you through another meditative journey. Please close your eyes and imagine smelling a Desi Gulab. Peppery, floral, beautiful. And while you're smelling it, feel the texture, velvety, red. In that, put in one elaichi and a bit of saunf. Pop it into your mouth, crunch it. Flavors and fragrances. And thank you for joining me in this magical journey of healing. May your cauldrons bubble with joy, and on your broomsticks you fly high into the night sky. But just before you leave, let us decide, where shall we next meet? In thunder, lightning, or in rain? Upon the heath, I say, with some magic, flowers and fragrances, over some cheese, wine and spells. Stay bewitched till then. Thank you.